I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Over the weekend, the House MAGA Republicans all met at a luxury resort near Disney World, of all places, to come up with a strategy about how they could attack the Manhattan District Attorney's Office for Donald Trump. Yes, the MAGA Republicans are simply engaged in repeated attempts of obstruction of justice. This is banana republic stuff, people. And what they came up with was a letter that Jim Jordan sent to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office on Monday and then tweeted about it. Jim Jordan wrote, "Was the Manhattan DA's office in communication with the Department of Justice about their investigation of President Trump? Was the Manhattan DA's office using federal funds to investigate President Trump? Alvin Bragg owes our community answers." Actually, he doesn't owe answers. And Jim Jordan, who claims that he's all about small government, now it's let's use the House of Representative resources to attack a local prosecutor's local prosecution. And fundamentally, what Jim Jordan also doesn't realize is that state, local, and federal agencies always coordinate in general. That is routine procedure. But anyway, let me read for you this ridiculous letter that Jim Jordan wrote to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office as part of their cult behavior for Donald Trump. Because let's face it, folks, the MAGA Republican Party is not a normal political party anymore. They are a weird cult for Donald Trump. And this is what they put in their letter. This is from the MAGA Republicans. "Dear Alvin Bragg, Manhattan District Attorney, you are reportedly about to engage in an unprecedented abuse of prosecutorial authority." Okay, can we just pause there for a moment? The indictment hasn't been handed down yet, and yet you have them already accusing him of prosecutorial misconduct. That's just how these people lack zero credibility, or they have zero credibility. It goes on to say, "You are reportedly about to engage in an unprecedented abuse of prosecutorial authority, the indictment of a former president of the United States and current declared candidate for that office. This indictment comes after years of your office searching for a basis, any basis on which to bring charges, ultimately settling on a novel legal theory untested anywhere in the country and one that federal authorities declined to pursue." Can we just pause there for a second? I mean, one, you see how Donald Trump tries to delay things, and then by delaying things, then their argument is because things are delayed, because time has passed, now you're too late, you can't even try these cases anymore. I mean, it's just completely false what they are saying. I mean, you're saying because the Donald Trump Department of Justice did not pursue those criminal charges, that immunizes Donald Trump because Bill Barr didn't prosecute Donald Trump even after Mueller basically suggested that there was obstruction of justice and Bill Barr recast what Mueller said. Do you think therefore that Donald Trump is immune? There's currently multiple criminal grand juries at the federal level investigating Donald Trump for crimes right now. The prior district attorney, Cy Vance, was criminally investigating these claims. That's why the current district attorney in Manhattan, Alvin Bragg, inherited that criminal investigation and in fact is actually criminally investigating other claims such as fraudulent financial valuations as well. But this one has a statute of limitation that's about to come up, and so he's prosecuting as he should in a timely manner. So again, just complete and utter BS right here. It goes on to say, if these reports are accurate, your country and one that federal authorities, if these reports are accurate, your actions will erode confidence in the even-handed application of justice and unalterably interfere in the course of the 2024 presidential election. In light of the serious consequence of your actions, we expect that you will testify about what plainly appears to be a politically motivated prosecutorial decision. There's absolutely no authority for the federal government, for the House of Representatives, to haul in a local prosecutor and ask them questions about their prosecutorial decisions and intervene in an ongoing criminal prosecution. This will not be permitted. It will not be allowed. And it just demonstrates more and more that these MAGA Republicans have no credibility. They are just a complete and utter cult. The New York County District Attorney's Office has been investigating President Trump since at least 2018, looking for some legal theory on which to bring charges. Okay, because a criminal investigation did not wrap up immediately while Donald Trump was in office as president, that you view that as something suspicious or something strange? Yeah, criminal investigations take time. A new district attorney's office came in, inherited the investigation, found that crimes took place, has a grand jury that is investigating the crimes, and the grand jury will ultimately, based on evidence and facts, decide whether to indict or not. The facts surrounding the impending indictment have been known for years. Michael Cohen, President Trump's disgraced former lawyer, pleaded guilty over 4 years ago to charges based on the same facts at issue in the impending indictment. Yeah, and in that, Michael Cohen said he was doing it on behalf of Donald Trump, but with the actually weaponized Department of Justice in the Trump administration, they not only failed to prosecute Donald Trump, but they immunized people essentially like Alan Weisselberg to try to prevent the prosecution of Donald Trump at the federal level. By July 2019, however, federal prosecutors determined that no additional people would be charged alongside Cohen. You're referring to Bill Barr right now. Now, in the words of one legal scholar, you are attempting to shoehorn the same case with identical facts into a new prosecution, resurrecting a so-called zombie case against President Trump. Even the Washington Post quoted legal experts as calling your actions unusual because prosecutors have repeatedly examined the long-established details but decided not to pursue charges. Look, folks, here on the MeidasTouch Network, one of our co-hosts, one of our lead anchors is Karen Friedman-Agnifilo, the former number 2 of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. She's been very clear. Nothing unusual, nothing strange about this. This is textbook. This is making sure that no one is above the law. Goes on to talk about the legal theory underlying your reported prosecution appears to be tenuous and untested. Jim Jordan, that's not for you to decide. That's for a jury to decide. And Donald Trump can make whatever motions he wants to make once he is criminally charged. Bringing charges for falsifying business records is ordinarily a misdemeanor subject to a 2-year statute of limitations, which would have expired long ago. State law, however, allows a district attorney to elevate nominal misdemeanor conduct to a felony charge if the intent to defraud includes the intent to commit another crime or to aid or conceal the commission thereof. Such a showing would extend the statute of limitations to 5 years, which would likely expire soon, and thus explains your rush to an indictment. There's nothing suspicious about that. I mean, as the case is about to reach its statute of limitations, if they've established that criminal conduct takes place, they don't want to waive the statute of limitations. I know Jim Jordan, you and the MAGA cult would like him not to file within the statute of limitations so they lose the case, but that's not exactly what they are doing. They're following what the law says. Then you go, the only potential speculated crime that could be alleged here would be a violation of campaign finance law. How do you know that? What are you even speculating? This is just a nonsensical letter. You go on to say, in addition to the novel and untested legal theory, your star witness for this prosecution has a serious credibility problem. And they go on to attack Michael Cohen. They say Cohen pled guilty to lying in Congress in 2018. By the way, Cohen said he was doing it on behalf of Donald Trump, and he has the documents to prove it. This is not the defense you think it is. Well, you know what it is, but good luck trying to attack Michael Cohen, who has all of the goods. The interference from the totality of these facts is that your impending indictment is motivated by political calculations. In January 2022, soon as you took over office, you expressed doubts about President Trump's case and suspended the investigation. The decision caused 2 of your top investigators, Carrie Dunn and Mark Pomerantz, to resign in protest and publicly denounce your work. Yeah, you're not actually listening. I know that you like to do this by leaks to whatever who's leaking. Alvin Bragg's always said that the ongoing criminal investigation of Donald Trump for financial fraud is ongoing. He's focusing on the one first where a statute of limitations may expire, but he's always said that he's still investigating the other one. And I think at some point there will be a superseding indictment, or at least another criminal indictment by Donald Trump based on the fraudulent financial dealings he engaged in for over a decade, which are the subject of a civil lawsuit being brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James. You go on to say, the facts of this matter has not changed since 2018, blah, 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 blah. Your decision to pursue such a politically motivated prosecution while adopting progressive criminal justice policies that allow career criminals to, quote, run the streets of Manhattan requires congressional scrutiny. about how safety funds appropriated by Congress are implemented by local law enforcement agencies. In addition, your apparent decision to pursue criminal charges where federal authorities declined to require oversight to inform potential legislative reform about the delineation of prosecutorial authority between federal and local officials. So he's basically saying overall here, we want to do the woke investigation. The federal government wants to investigate state and local prosecutors because the feds, big government, believes you're woke. We won't define what that means, but progressive policies. So we're going to put big government to go after local prosecutors. It's the exact opposite of everything that these complete morons claim they stand for when they say, oh, they're all about small government and this and that. And then they have the document request, and then they demand attendance no later, or response no later than 10 a.m. on March 23rd, 2023. That's very nice. They give him 3 days to show up to testify, which obviously he's not going to do. Just to make y'all feel, just to know the facts, this is not going to derail in any way the Trump indictment, not even a little bit. It just shows what callous traitors and cowards and what total frauds these MAGA Republicans are, that they would use government resources to try to obstruct justice. Unfortunately, even though the conduct is likely criminal that Jim Jordan is engaging in here, he's likely protected by congressional immunities based on the way the letter's written. But this could backfire big time as well, because it is unlawful. Here's what Congressmember Ted Lieu, Democrat from California, says. Dear Jim Jordan, local prosecutors, including District Attorney Bragg, owe you nothing. In fact, it is illegal for you and the House Judiciary, GOP, to interfere in an ongoing criminal investigation or a criminal trial if there is one. This is from Robert J. Denault, a former law student at Duke, lawyer. He writes, anti-federal government, pro-states' rights Republican Jim Jordan says a local elected official charged with enforcing New York law owes a federal congressional committee answers about his office's work. Cuts against just about every principle Jim Jordan and these Republicans purport to believe in. Yeah, they believe in nothing and they fall for everything because they fall for the Donald Trump cult. Republicans against Trumpism, right? Nothing to see here, folks. Just the chair of the House Judiciary Committee blatantly intervening in a local district attorney investigation to protect their corrupt leader. I'll say corrupt cult leader. This is some banana republic level stuff. I couldn't agree more. Representative Dan Goldman, freshman Democratic member of Congress from New York, writes, from day one, I said the so-called weaponization subcommittee by these MAGA Republicans, that's who he's referring to, he didn't say MAGA Republicans, though, was more aptly named, quote, the Committee to Obstruct Justice. As if on cue, House Republicans are now using the official power of the Congress to try to obstruct state prosecution of Donald Trump. Congressmember Pete Aguilar says, translation, the chair of the Government Weaponization Committee is now weaponizing the government to interfere with an ongoing criminal investigation. Representative Glenn Ivey, Democrat from Maryland, writes, I was stunned to read this letter that could obstruct a criminal investigation and intimidate an elected state law enforcement official. The chairman of the Judiciary GOP appears to be demanding the Manhattan District Attorney violate New York grand jury secrecy laws. You have Lawrence Tribe explains, worse yet, for Congress to harass local prosecutors who are just enforcing state criminal laws violates core principles of federalism and state sovereignty in violation of the 10th Amendment, more than slightly hypocritical for the former champions of states' rights. And as I've said, these MAGA Republicans stand for nothing. They fall for everything. All they care about is the Trump cult. And here you see them weaponizing government to try to attack a local prosecutor and try to violate grand jury secrecy in the Manhattan District Attorney process. Really important that we all know what they're trying to do. They're not going to succeed, but how obvious and callous their attempts are to try to do everything to appease their cult leader, Donald Trump. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your support. Let's march to 1 million subscribers on YouTube. It's free to subscribe. Just hit subscribe on on YouTube right now. Also, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, and wherever you get your audio podcast, search MeidasTouch Podcast and subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast that I do with my brothers. All right, hit subscribe on YouTube. It's free. Help us get to 1 million subscribers. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network.
Lock him up! Indictment season is upon us. Celebrate with the new Indictment Season t-shirt and v-neck exclusively at store.meidastouch.com.